on the Liberty Show with Leon. I am Leon Owede, the host of the Liberty Show. But first, I want to thank you guys for tuning in to this show. This is our second edition, and the love we've received so far is not what we expected, and it's really overwhelming. Thank you guys. So right now, if you've not subscribed to this show before and you're watching it right now, please go down there, click the red button, subscribe. Click the bell button so that you can get notification for our upcoming event. And apart from that, we'd love for you to like this video, comment your opinion down in the comment section, share this video with your friends, and please implore them to subscribe to this channel. We need likes, and we would so much love to hear your comment. Also, we would love and appreciate it if you can follow us on our social media handle on Instagram and on Twitter, and you can like our page on Facebook at The Liberty Show L. At The Liberty Show L, letter L, at The Liberty Show L. Please follow us on Instagram and on Twitter, and please like our page on Facebook. If you're an advertiser and you want to advertise on this show, or for any reason whatsoever you want to get to us or get in touch with us, you can mail us through this email address: info@faceoflibertyafrica.org. Let me take it again: info@faceoflibertyafrica.org. Now, for today's show, many of the government of the world is not trying to ease down the lockdown pressure in their country. Nigeria government has done the same. After 35 days of total lockdown in 3 major cities of Nigeria, which includes Lagos, Abuja, and Ogun State, the federal government on Monday of this week eased down the lockdown and brought forward a curfew that lasts from 8 p.m. to 6 a.m. every day. This is as a result of complaint by people that their day-to-day activity has been cut short, and it's so very hard for them to earn a living, which has resulted to so many chaos, riots, and even an increase of armed robbery in Lagos Metropolis. Now, we're going to be discussing today with you on this show what government has done. Is it right? Even the lockdown in the first place, is it a threat to liberty? What has this lockdown done to the economy? Positive effect, or are we going to say it's outright negative effect to the economy? And apart from that, if the economy did not bounce back or starting to crawl, as it were, by the fourth quarter of this year, 2020, how long do you think the world economy will live in shambles? Bill Gates mentioned that after the whole pandemic thing, the world will need nothing less than 18 months to get back to its feet. Now, if the world, the developed world, need 18 months to get back to its feet, how long do you think it will take Africa to get back to having its economy where it was before the pandemic started? What's the current situation of things in Abuja right now in respect to this COVID-19 pandemic?
Well, currently in Abuja, the current situation here is that there's a particular law that's been enforced. One major law that you just see, and that is everybody should be on their face mask. So anybody that is walking around, driving, anybody at all, they're on their face mask. And, you know, activities are going on, not normally though. People are still in their houses because they have not been called back to work. Bank still closes by 2 p.m. You know, some things are being restrained, but generally they're trying to like get or make sure that activities are going on, you know, trying to like make just make sure that the economy doesn't just go down the drain and all.
All
So
right. Thank you very much for having me on the show. The current situation in Ibadan is almost as very similar to some of the major cities in Nigeria. At the moment, there is a little bit of curfew placed on vehicular and other movements. However, economic activities has been restricted to essential needs and the medical services at the moment, and most of other activities has been put on hold. Predominantly, we at the moment do not open the schools, and the churches and the religious places are still shut, and gatherings have been restricted to zero. You cannot gather. No public gathering is allowed, and the curfew starts 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. So you are not allowed to be on the roads. Or if you must provide essential services, you must take the measures very strictly. Put some face masks on, provide sanitizers, and of course, observe the social distancing policies.
I'm in Lagos, Ikodu part of Lagos to be precise. So currently things have there's hike in price. Since you're at home, people are ordering stuffs and then ordinary stuff that you get for 10 naira, like the lowest amount before. Now you get it 20 naira, even as far as 15 naira. There's some goods that you get for that price. Even
Oh, wait.
transport fare has now doubled. Yeah. For instance, tricycle. While I went to I said I stay at Ikorodu part of Lagos. That's Ikorodu garage. So I went to Ikorodu garage from my house, and the tricycle we take normally it's supposed to be 100 naira. Now it's now 200 naira because there's a rule for them. There's a rule now based on social distancing and all of that that they should just take two passengers. So automatically they doubled the price.
I can say that the situation in Lokoja is still okay compared to other states in Nigeria because my state is not on lockdown since we have not been able to record any case of the COVID-19 virus. And economic activities is still in good shape in the state. It's just that there is restriction on interstate travel.
There's not been lockdown in Ibadan, so economic activities have been going on. Markets are open, offices are open, so there is no lockdown. There's no total lockdown in Ibadan. It's just lockdown is like there's no lockdown between 7 a.m. and I think 7 p.m. But anything outside after 7 p.m. the lockdown is on. So there's really no serious lockdown. But at 7 p.m. in Ibadan, businesses are closed by 4, 5. So normal.
Well, I won't say there's, let's say, kind of panic, but I'll say that basically the people generally started getting more awareness of the, let's say, the lockdown's implications and the virus's implications with time. At first, it was just maybe a few masks here and there, maybe one person like 20 or one like 50. But now it's like, let's say, if you see 10 people walking, like 9 have masks on or 7 have masks on. So it's getting better. Like people are getting more aware. For example, if you go to the Kotu markets, like the main market at the Kotu there, you'll see there's this general, let's say human sanitizer. Like you have to walk through it where it basically sanitizes your entire body so you get to the market. So
basically, it's just messing up the economy as at now because we had a lot of restrictions. We had work from home. We had a lot of Kenyans losing their jobs. And also, we have a curfew, which means most businesses that operated at 24 hours or most people who used to work at night can't work anymore. So the situation is really bad. And the worst bit is our health system is sort of accommodative because our cases are not as high as the rest of Africa or the rest of the world. So as at now, they can really contain the situation, but it's really, really bad. We have a lot of people in the slums who which makes it, wow. That means that they are so vulnerable to getting this disease. As at now, we have the government reporting several cases from one of the slums in Kenya, which is quite worrying. And we just hope that the situation will be sorted out soon.
Like 2 weeks ago, and I was on with my face mask, and the woman was like, in your Koro, which means Koro's person. You are welcome. And I just smiled. You know, many people, especially here in Ibadan, they don't want to, they are yet to accept that the virus is in Ibadan or is in Nigeria.
Wow.
So, and with that, many people are not conscious of it. And okay, it's even recently that the governor said that we should always be on our marks. So they now prefer to, because of the law that was given, they now prefer to go on because if you don't wear it, they will be. I think I was told they will be beaten or something. So now they are conscious of it, and not of the virus. They are just conscious of the fact that if you don't wear the face mask, you are going to be dealt with.
It's been a whole lot of complex issues, and there have been a diverse opinion, and the situation in Port Harcourt is not as different as it is in some part of Nigeria, like Lagos, Abuja, and Ogun State, where we have some cases of the COVID-19 as a threat to the human lives and global health issues. But presently, one of the differences in terms of communication of governments and the governors is actually a big different from what we have in Port Harcourt, as the case might be. In Port Harcourt, there have been a total lockdown that has been declared by the state government, although there have been diverse lockdown policies as the case arises. Now, just few days ago, the government declared a total lockdown in two major parts of the city. That is the main economic part of the state, and that has really caused a lot of complex issues and a lot of pains upon the citizens and the indigenes of the state.
In your own opinion, do you think this pandemic has affected the Nigerian economy?
You know, like, first of all, the aviation industry is like, it has really been affected, you know, and other parts of the economy, like SMEs and some other businesses, they are shut down, you know, for now, or they basically closed for now.
Economy, going from the drop in the world oil price to the fact that it has also affected small scale businesses. Small scale businesses have been able to, to face the brunt of this situation, during the fact that so many of them have not been able to run, as the lockdown has prevented them from running their businesses. The economy is suffering in the sense that not so many of activities are going on. Although there are a lot of buyings and sellings, but then it's affected so many of the sectors that are not in the online mainstream of the economy. So basically, it has affected us. It has dropped the revenue, and it also dropped the what's it called now? The reserves too has also been touched a little bit, and of course, the local economy is also affected, and of course, it's having a very great toll on the Nigerian economy at the moment.
For now, it has really affected us greatly because, like I earlier mentioned, we had a lot of government restrictions on businesses, on movement, also on the working hours. So you find that most companies, especially the hospitality industry, people are getting laid off. There are no jobs. A lot of companies have shut down because currently business is not normal. No one is working. No one is making profits. Every fund that was channeled to do something from the government has been channeled back to Corona, to fight Corona. So currently our economy is really suffering.
I think that question is like I think that question's answer is more obvious than sunlight. Like, it's doing us really bad. Yeah, it's doing us really, really bad. Last I checked, our Brent crude had dropped to, like, I think $12 per barrel. The United States WTI, I think it's 0.5 That's their own general concern. But our own particularly is, I think it's at the lowest in the past 30 or 40 years. Like, it's really low. In fact, the last time I can remember that Brent crude was $12 per barrel was in 1970s. Yeah, that far back. So it's doing us a double, if I can say that, because Nigeria has an economy that's based on crude oil mainly, and because of our government and economy is not so diversified, and also the secondary part of the economy, that's the SMEs, basically right now cannot do much or cannot really work because there's a lockdown in place. Therefore, and now even taking it even further, Lagos is Nigeria's capital of, well, I say economics. Now Abuja is the capital based on geography, but economically, Lagos is where things stand. Now, in Lagos here, people are losing their jobs. We can go to work. Some people can work from home. Not all can do that, but generally, the virus is taking a heavy.
Has been affected. Jobs are being, in fact, right now there are lots of job loss. If they would not tell you, some companies are not even telling you outrightly that, oh, you've lost your job. Probably you don't want you to have an attack. They want you to be psychologically, balanced. People are told they don't want people to commit suicide. They just tell you are on an unpaid.
Knowing fully well that it has affected our economy, and it's really affecting our economy greatly because it's still ongoing. Let's assume that this pandemic ended completely in the last quarter of this year. How long do you think it takes, or it will take, for Nigerian economy to fully resuscitate and get back on its functioning state?
When we put that in perspective, then it's really going to take a long time. Not very long though, but it's going to take some time, like basically a year or two, or even 3 years.
A long time for us to recover from this economic meltdown that we're having currently in the world and in Nigeria.
Sufficient, say 6 months with strong and serious motivations from all angles for us to kick back into the economy again if care is not taken. And on the other hand, we have to also prepare for unforeseen. If peradventure we are unable to, get this very rightly, probably the policies will not work for us, or probably the measures that are supposed to be taken for this, for the economy to kick back, do not take shape. We may run into a year or two setback before we are able to kick up again.
Came on board, so it might take a year before we get everything back to normal.
I think that would really take a long time. It might even take more than years.
Delicate, dicey, and dire question. I think I should have to add dire to it, because last time I remember there had been a serious world crisis economically was in 2008 and 2009, where the US stock market crashed and then it pulled the whole stock market along with it, and it was devastating. Now, that last time saw Nigerian naira against the dollar move from around 125 to like 145. And then from then on, it moved steadily up to 160. But basically, the fact is that from that 125 to 145, that price, let's say that difference margin was never gotten back up until in 2015 and early 2016, where it jumped from 365 to like 320, and from then on we have been up all the way. So, and basically, like, the world has not seen an economic crunch this bad since the Great Depression. In fact, now what that means is that even what we faced in 2009 is not as bad as what we're facing now. So I'll say it would take a serious economic miracle for us to have a sudden, will I say, revivification of the economy in Nigeria. But beyond that, now coming back to reality, I think all things being equal, going with normal economics that we know, it would take, let's say, about well, I'm not an economist, but I think it takes maybe, let's say, about 7 to 8 years for things to balance out.
Libertarian, restriction of movements, be it lockdown, be it curfew, whatever it is called in any part of the world, especially Nigeria as a case study. In Port Harcourt, Orlando, the governor just locked down 2 of the most crowded economic area of Port Harcourt. Some other places are locking these other governors are locking places down in order to curtail the spread of the virus. Do you think this lockdown, these curfews are threats to liberty?
Threat to liberty for me, I would say no. You know why? Now, this is an unusual time, and it's not the best time to advocate for liberty at this moment. The liberty we kind of restricting at the moment is say personal liberty. At the moment, there is a greater need for everybody to be safe. If we must exercise our freedom, it must be done at the expense of another person. It must not be done at the expense of another person. So if you go out, if you flaunt the policies, the restriction measures, you are probably going to be increasing the chances of flattening the curve or reducing the spread of the coronavirus. So our liberty at this time has been, threatened by the virus itself. So restriction of liberty at this time has been threatened, and there's little or nothing that we could do than to obey the constitutional authorities in terms of the lockdown or the curfews that have been imposed. These have been done to help protect our liberties, if you ask me, because the more we are, the more we're able to enjoy our liberty. If we go out now, if we do what they are asking us not to do, don't gather more than 20, more than 30, or no gatherings at all, or if you do not observe the social distancing, or you fail to use a nose mask, you do not sanitize, we would lose more citizens, right? So if we do that, we will not be able to advocate for more liberties. And that's because, and they are doing that now because of the coronavirus. They didn't do that a year ago, 2 years ago. They didn't shut down anywhere, no lockdowns like this. It's all got to the coronavirus issue. So the restriction of movement has only threatened our liberty because there is a greater threat already, and that's the virus. So has threatened our very, very existence and our liberties itself. So for me, as a libertarian, the restriction of movement is to help us to advocate for more liberties. It's not a threat to our initial liberty. It's the coronavirus, it's the pandemic itself that has threatened our liberties, that has threatened our existence, and has even threatened to shut down the whole world entirely itself.
It's an harsh treatment from the government part, which I want to believe is not harsh. It's I would say a measure of love, something like that. Because if it affects you, it affects your neighbor. And as a libertarian, we don't just preach liberty, we preach love too. So if you want to preach that love part, then you have to consider your neighbor. So to me, I don't see it as a threat to liberty. I don't see it as anti-liberty.
As this current situation, this lockdown, this COVID-19 pandemic actually affected you personally?
Okay. I just said something about the fact that I do some businesses. I'm a business consultant. I deal with car dealers. I deal with cars. I'm a car dealer. So this has really affected me. It's very hard for someone to call me. It's very hard for someone to say, okay, I really saw this nice car of yours online, and I want to check it out. And then the next thing that they would say is, but this lockdown situation, I can't really come. And then at the end of the day, I would lose a potential customer, or someone that will say, I really want to have a meeting with you, and I want to discuss various marketing strategies that they would want to implement a particular kind of business. And I would say, okay, that would be good. So when can we meet? And they would have to say, oh, we can't meet anywhere because first of all, there are roadblocks and they won't be able to come to where I am, or I won't be able to go to where they are. And even if we are in even if they are in a location, like their location is not very far from mine, we won't be able to just meet somewhere and sit because Chicken Republic is closed, Meals Pizza is closed, different restaurants are closed. So we'll be able to meet, and they would have to say, okay, so probably after the lockdown, and I would have just made some good money there. So it's really affected me. It affected my pockets. It affected my my networking capacity. It affected a whole lot of things. So I think it really affected me like a whole lot.
Affected me in a great way. My social life, my work life, my everything. It's really affected me in a great way. You can't move. You have to move with masks. Uh, Prices of commodities are hiking up. I don't know why. Probably because of the transportation restrictions and all that. But it's really affected me in a great way. Like the expenditure right now, it's quite heavy. So you really have to minimize on a lot of things, on a lot of daily things that include meals, the number of times you travel, probably, the expenditure in the house. You really have to minimize a lot, because you also need to look at saving as an option, because we don't know how long this
Gonna take.
pandemic is going to be here. We don't know how long our companies and organizations are going to keep us. So to be safe, it's really affected me in a great way.
Okay, want to usually have a, let's say, a fairly high haircut. So before the lockdown, I hadn't cut my hair. Let's say, yeah, for like 2 weeks. So my hair was fairly high. I was planning to cut my hair before the lockdown came in place. So this is 2 weeks down the line, and right now, literally, my hair cannot be combed. So hence my testy cap. Yeah, exactly. So my hair is in a very messed up state. I think very soon I'm becoming as right or something. I don't know. I don't really know, but it's that way. It's coming that bad for me. That's one of the ways that he has like taught me personally. Other way is that personally, okay, kind of work I do. I'm a writer and I write, I do graphic design and all that. So the kind of work I do basically doesn't have me going out most times. But I just miss the possibility of going out. For example, I had a hangout, at least a planned hangout with a friend that lives close to me at Gondo also, to go to a cinema, I think a week for the hangout. Sorry, a week for the lockdown. But then for some reason that week we didn't go. So the next week, lockdown came. We can't go anywhere. We've been talking via video chat for like the past 1 month now, but basically we're still where we are. So like I miss the possibility of going out. Like I miss going out. Like I miss going out. I miss wearing t-shirts every day. Sometimes I feel like just going out and wearing something corporate, but I can't go anywhere. Okay, another very personal application. All my corporate clothes are rumpled. Like they are rumpled. Like my suits, my pants, like my dark pants, my shirts, they are rumpled. Like I really can't do anything. I'm just at home working from home, and here I am having a video chat with you.
Being of more of negative impact to me as a libertarian, and I can't even move out to get something in the next shops or go around to get something around the neighborhood. So it has really affected me psychologically, emotionally, and even economically.
It has not affected me in any way. I'm still working. In fact, working from home is even more tedious than working at the office, because I mean, when you're at the office, you resume at 9, you close by 5. I know when you're from morning till night, work can still come up. You have to be doing stuff at home, even when you're supposed to be on closing hours. You get, so well, I think that's the only way. But then that's not really affected me personally. I don't know. I'm not. I really don't. That's not okay. Let me just say it has not affected me.
Areas. Well, let's start from on a lighter mood. My cheek. I think I added some flesh based on stay at home, and the negative part though is that I've been at home. Though at some point I was working from home and all of that, but it's not easy working from home. And it got to a point I was told to be on unpaid leave.
Whoa! So you're actually a victim of the unpaid leave.
Exactly, I'm a victim, and I have other friends in other organizations that are victim of that. So I'm a victim on unpaid leave, which means there's no salary, money is not coming forth for me, so I just have to stay at home. It has affected me in that area too. So money is not coming forth, so I'm not staying at home. So then another thing that it affected also is I'm this kind of person that I'm an extrovert to some extent. I like gathering, social gathering. Let's just go out, let's hang out, let's have fun. I hardly stay at home before this whole thing started. Oh, I'm there, not necessarily oh, I'm there, but just go out. I just like going out. I hardly stay at home. Even my peeps at home will be like, you this girl, you don't stay at home. Before we know it's Otilo, before you know it, say you have one program, you have this, you have that. I just like going out. So now imagine someone like me, like being in the midst of people, and all of a sudden I'm confined to a particular place. You know, it's affecting me. It got to a point, it wanted to get to me mentally. It wanted to get to me mentally. Like I was just all on my own. I was not even talking to anybody at home. I was just all up in my space, and it was really affecting me. It got to a point just to shake it off and like, no, I can't continue like this, and I just have to adjust to this new environment. But we are still adjusting. I'm not used to it, but I'm still trying to adjust. So it has affected me mentally and even financially, my pocket wise. So yeah, that's
Thank you so very much for lending your voice on the show today. We hope
Really.
from you some more.